Hey, Scissorman Warrior, you wanna, I don't know, get together, do a live stream or something?
I don't know. I need you to give me the password. I mean, geez.
The, the password? Oh, man, for some reason I want to go with like Civilence, or maybe it's Steve Perry. No, definitely Lionel Richie.
Nope.
New England Clam Chowder.
Is that the red or the white?
I can never remember that part.
And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is SureShot, and we are doing a weekly live stream. This is for last week and this week. Sorry to have 2 weeks into 1 week, but that's just the way it rolled. I appreciate all of you guys hopping on and having a good time. We are going to do our very, 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 very best to not forget story time. I have a story for you. I think SureShot might have a story for you as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. We've got a lot to cover. I really want to jump in and show characters and go through all of that. If you guys have questions today, I want you guys to tag SureShot if it's a question for SureShot. Tag, or you can tag me and then he will read the question to me, provided I'm not in the middle of like an arena battle. We are going to do Grand Arena. I didn't just put that as my thumbnail to what do you call it? What do they call that? Clickbait. Yeah, it wasn't clickbait, I promise. It won't be super exciting because my Grand Arena only has 4 battles on the alt account, but it's going to be fun. We're going to creatively think how to win and things like that, so that'll be good. But the first thing I always like to do is I like to go through and kind of showcase the characters. Why don't we start with story time and start with your story, and then after that we'll get into kind of where Scissorman's at, and then near the end, remind me and we'll do my story time. So, SureShot, take it away.
Story time with... When you said that we're going to be doing this, it's kind of like, well, today especially, it's kind of I don't know if it's going to become one of our things or not, but I have got millions kind of always just ready to go, but it's interesting when somebody actually asks you like, oh, hey, on the spot, sometimes a little bit of a blank, but for some reason today, this one stuck out in my mind just because it's interesting how you've had some similar situations with your siblings, and I think my siblings have been kind of similar in some of our upbringings and some of the ways that we'd hang out with friends and all that, but one story in particular does stick out in my mind. The first time I ever got into a fight. Now, my dad had a job where we were moving around pretty regularly, so we were living in a trailer park, kind of bouncing around a little bit here and there, so it was kind of more convenient to live in a trailer at that point to be able to uproot and move when we needed to go. So some of the trailer parks that we'd be at, obviously, I mean, they've gotten so much of a stigma about them now. People just automatically assume if you've lived in one, there's probably stories about some interesting characters that you've lived around. Not only for the gang violence and everything else, and some of the ones that we were part of. Wow. There was the street bullies, I guess I like to say, because depending on who would move in or out that week, you kind of get a new batch once in a while. And this one particular time, me and my brother, my older brother, were out riding our bikes around, and I don't know if it was particular that we were out trying to make friends or why we got involved in a conversation with these guys, but for some reason they decided they didn't like us, and they were riding in a circle, and we were sitting there just kind of watching them like, oh, hey, you doing tricks or something?
So they were a good judge of character.
Oh, yeah, totally good judge of character. So they were, just riding in circles or whatever, and we were trying to talk to them back and forth, and I guess they weren't having any of that, so they kept on doing the, when you hit the brake or whatever, you got those old Murrays or Huffies, you had to roll backwards on the pedals to actually get to lock up that brake, and for some reason, whenever they'd come around to us, they would lock up and power slide, and next thing you know, we were getting hit by them. They were like slamming into our bikes or trying to knock us over and stuff, and we kept on going like, what the heck? And they were like, power slides, and they just keep on rolling around. So they did this about 3 or 4 times to the point where I was just over it. And apparently my older brother, who's usually the boisterous one who wants to go and like confront people and talk or whatever, just kind of hanging back, being all Mr. Calm as a Hindu cow, and I was young and fiery, so I was just going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and settle this one for us real quick. So I decided to start, speaking up and saying things back to him. Next thing you know, the bikes are on the ground, we're face to face, and I just didn't have a chance to even say anything to him or kind of do anything or wind up or whatever. I just came at that guy just swinging. And at this point, if you were to know my brother, he's about 4 years older than me, and at the time a good 3 or 4 inches taller than I am, and he's about the same size as all these guys. So I'm the little runt, with the short guy complex, wants to run up there and save the day and make things, bring justice to the situation. And I end up getting laid into by both of them, like pretty much power hugged by one guy when I went up and tried to punch him, and he pretty much picked me up and body slammed me on the ground and went at me for a little while there, all the while wondering, oh man, what the heck? I hope my brother's doing okay. After I get done receiving my beating, I stand up, kind of wandering, going back to my bike, crying, noticing that he's still sitting there with his bike, just watching the whole thing as if almost like glassy-eyed, like he had no idea what was going on. I was just like, where are you at, bro? What the heck? So, of course, I go running back to the trailer all crying and screaming about it and everything, because I think I'm like 6 or something at the time. I was deciding to hop in there.
Don't lie. This story's from yesterday, guys, and I was the one on the bike.
Okay, yeah, maybe. In my mind, I wanted it to be, but anyways, my mom was kind of like, saying, okay, so how did it all go down? Well, basically, after all the story was all laid out and everything, she just kind of went back with, oh, that's why you shouldn't fight, isn't it? And I'm like, where's the sympathy here? Come on.
So we got a couple of people saying hi, of course. Someone says, love the thumbnails. That's Xylo Takedown Games. So Xylo, what's up? Yeah, so the artwork on our thumbnail is actually created by an art buddy of ours who, his name's Kevin. He's awesome. Yep, he's going to be moving back into town. You guys might actually see Kevin in some upcoming live streams. I don't know what the heck he's going to call himself as his kind of alternate name, but we call him Kevin for now. But he's an artist, and he just kind of threw those together on an afternoon, having some fun, and sent them to us. Yeah, because he's that good. He made those, he drew those up, and then sent us those. He's also the one that, I don't know if you've ever seen my one-handed Wampa, where it's the one-armed Wampa and I'm riding the one-armed Wampa. He drew that in pencil. It's super amazing. I've used it on Facebook as my picture and stuff. So if you're on the Facebook group, but someone asked really quick, there is one question. It was, how do you restart in this Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? And what you need is just another email, and then basically you can go to settings, log out, and when you log in, it will ask you which account. Once you have multiple accounts on your device, and you pick the other account that you have never played under before, and then it launches the game brand new, afresh, and you can start completely over. Now let's get our bearings really quick on where I'm at, what I'm doing, my focuses, things like that. I've been finishing in the number 1 slot. I only have to do 1 battle a day in ships. With ships, it's a lot easier. Today I'll have to do 2 battles. And that's, yeah, that'll be the second time ever. But normally I'm sitting in 4th or 5th, and I just sit there the whole day. And then about 2 hours before my payout, I do it. So Fleet's great. I'm loving Fleet. Arena's very difficult. I'm at this point trying to just get top 20, which is not always possible because I want the 200 crystals. And top 50 is only 150, so I'm losing 50 crystals when I'm top 50. So I'm
early on and already settling. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been 4 months, so the truth is starting to settle in. People that spend money are going to definitely take those top spots. That's okay. I'm actually okay with that. I think if they spend money, they should have some sort of an advantage. But we've got a lot of Revens and then Darth Revens. Basically, the top 20 is going to be all Revan and Darth Revan. We do have Edel, who is running Night Sisters, straight up maxed out Night Sister team, and does very well. But you can see it's all like Revan, Darth Revan. There's a couple of Emperor Palpatine teams, but like, look at this. This dude's got 5 Zeta on this team. So, I mean, he should be in the top 20 with all Gear 12, 5 Zeta teams. And then this is all Revens. And then you see, even going into the 20s, it starts to break down, but you can start to see some of the alternate teams like, the Bastilas and some of the First Order teams and the Emperor teams and, just Imperial troopers. You can still see there's a lot of like lower level Darth Revens that I can still beat, but they're kind of in the 20s. But I mean, once you get into that top 20, I mean, once you see, boom, this is my top 20, this is what you have to jump into. And so it's very, very difficult to compete at that level anymore. I just don't have that team. If you looked at my team, let me go back to it really quick. I finally got a couple at Gear 11. I spent the last few weeks saving up as much gear and farming as much gear as possible. A lot of people say, do you focus on shards or gear? And it depends on the energy. So I've been farming really heavily with Cantina, but using my regular energy mostly for gear. And then I've gotten some really good gear out of the raids. And I was able to get, well, old Ben's still gear 9, sadly. Thrawn is now gear 10. He was gear 9. And then Bastila's at gear 11. She's been gear 11 for a long time now for me. Ezra was gear 10 forever. I was waiting on a Mark 5 med pack. Same thing with Yoda med pack. So hold on one second.
Med packs or stun guns.
Major sneeze, and I don't have my mute button near me, so had to bow out of that. But let's go into what I'm focused on, so you can see my top 2 rows are favorites. I try to keep favorites down to 2 rows. It's really hard to focus on anything when you have too much in your in your top. It's really difficult getting characters to level 85. Every time I get credits, I try to focus on another character. So R2D2, he's just a legendary character. He needs to be maxed out. He's one of the primo characters in the game, so he's in favorites. Almost got him to gear 9, so that's good. I just popped Emperor Palpatine's Zeta on a couple days ago, and I just got him to gear 9. I had one piece I needed, and I finally got that piece crafted. And so now he is gear 9, only 2 pieces away from gear 10. It's funny, when you crack that next gear, it's always exciting to see what's glowing in the next level. And I had 4 pieces for him already glowing. So that was like, yes, Emperor Palpatine, go. Bosk, I finally got to gear 9. Bosk is obviously, he's surprisingly going to be my next Zeta, his leadership. Okay. And the Zeta is going to be good for ships because I'm still working on his ship, but it's going to make that team 10 times more viable. There's a lot of bounty hunter events, and one of them I just recently did. It was the one where you go after certain characters, and if you, and you get 10 of their shards. And I did the first level for Kira twice, and I was able to complete it. But the next one is for Visas Mar, and I kind of wanted to work my way up and get to Han Solo and earn him. And because I want to get him a little faster. I'm almost a 6-star. Yeah, and I couldn't do it because my characters they took damage and never recovered from the damage, and they've got to recover. So that's where that Zeta comes into play. He's also my leader, and Emperor Palpatine's my leader. And so the better your leader, the better the team, and that's where the Zeta comes in. Han Solo, he's a legendary character. He's part of the infamous #1 CLS, Rebel team. So, and R2D2's part of that too. So we want to make sure that both of those get developed. Jango Fett and Dengar are 2 of them that are bounty hunters, because I'm working on bounty hunters for both ships and also for the event, obviously, so I can get Chewie at a minimum to 5 stars so I can start developing him. So I'm, trying to get their star level up and gear up, and Dengar is a staple on that team, and so is Jango Fett. So Jango Fett's gear 8. Jolie Bindo, I've been farming since nearly the very beginning. As soon as I unlocked his node, I've been farming him. I still only have him 5-star. So, but he is a part of the Revan team. And since I had Bastila already and Jolie I've been working on, I finally started to farm Zalbar and Mission. Now, I'm getting a little off track here with doing Zalbar and Mission, but they're a great duo combo, and I'm finding that in Grand Arena, it's getting obviously more and more difficult, and I'm trying to find some kind of light combos that I can pair together that are going to help me in Grand Arena, but also are in my 5-pillar system and are also going to be a part of like a hero's journey or something. And that's where Zalbar and Mission fall in. They're in Pillar 3, and I'm heavily in Pillar 2 right now, but I am kind of stealing out of Pillar 3 a little bit with these 2 characters. I've got T3 in there, and I don't know why, because I'm not going to be working on him for a long time, so I can actually take him out. I think I had him there just as a thought, like, I like him, but Mission and him compete in Cantina. And I, finished off Kylo Ren Unmasked and all the others that I'd been working on. So went into Pillar 3 on Cantina, which is good. So those are the characters. Now, Jedi Consular is 6 stars, almost 7 stars. Easy to farm, and the reason why I'm doing that is Yoda's coming back, and my Yoda is 6 stars. And so I need to get a 7th star. And when you look at Jedi, I unfortunately only have 4 7 stars. And so I don't want it to come and go again and not be able to compete. So I have Ezra, Obi-Wan, Bastila, and Kanan. And I don't really care about Kanan right now. He's on kind of just there. He's passively getting worked on when I unlock stuff. But Jedi Consular will be my 5th, and I'm just going to get him to 7 stars. I don't think I'm going to do anything else with him for now. Just that 7th star. So I need 52 shards. The good news with Jedi Consular, the reason why he's kind of my fill-in, and he's not on my pillar system, by the way, which is why I'm not planning on doing a bunch with him. But look at all of these. He has 3 regular nodes. 3 regular hard nodes, regular energy, and Cantina at 10 energy. So he's one of those, if you need to like freak farm something really fast, he's one of those guys you can definitely do that with.
You want to force all your resources into one spot, that's the place to do it.
Yep. And then Empire, let's just look at Empire really quick, because Empire, just even in the last couple of days, has gotten, better. I've got Palpatine looking pretty good, Thrawn. I've got Veers, Stark, Vader, Tarkin, Range, all at 7 stars. They're all looking pretty good. Obviously, I eventually want to, finish off TIE Fighter Pilot and Snowtrooper. Snowtrooper I get for free through the openings of Bronziums, and he's my least priority right now. And then TIE Fighter Pilot's happening passively as well. Kind of get his occasionally through shipments and stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go through dailies and stuff and talk. If you've got questions again, you guys can hit. You guys are saying you're glad to have it on and stuff. So we're going to be on here for a little while. I am going to just kind of go through dailies. I'm going to let SureShot just hit you up with all your questions and chat and stuff. And then if I have any ideas and stuff, I'll grab it from you guys. But you can go ahead and watch and chat with him. If you got questions, hit us up.
I could give you another story. No, just kidding.
Yeah, you can story time
Regale.
it up, man.
Nah, we can see if anybody has any questions about that. I won't sit here and just fill the air with my hot air. But I do find it interesting at seeing how you're doing certain characters and remembering what's like, oh yeah, I remember I had certain characters in my favorites for a while and then wondered what the heck they were doing there. Because like when I was starting to do Old Republic, thinking that I could be ready for the Revan event, and then of course I had to watch that one sail on by again. I had Cartho Nasty.
Sail away, sail away, sail away.
Save a whale. I had to sit there and watch them sail by again, but I had Cartho Nasty in my favorites for quite a while, and that was the one event that I'd forgotten to actually participate in, so I don't even have him yet. And I was like, oh, it's in the back burner, I'll just kind of keep him there in the back of my mind, and then I realized just after a little while he's not going to be viable for anything that I'm going to need him for. Nice! What the heck? And we're not even in double drops.
Man.
Son of a...
Well, last time it was crap, so good for that.
Yeah. They finally made up for it for you a little bit, I guess. There. Sometimes they kind of see like, oh, wait a second, we've been screwing them a little too hard. Good grief. Really?
She's been like this for me the whole entire time, and I don't know why, because everybody said she's terrible, but I'm getting good luck today.
Yeah, you know what? Bastila Shan was actually that way for me. Even when they did double drops, suddenly she was just falling all over the place. That's 10 so far.
11.
That's 11. Good grief.
11, my rabbit.
And see, it happened live. It's actually recorded now. Now we can't complain about it anymore, right? Wait, never mind. I'll find a way. Let's see here. So anyways, before I have to sit and think about that anymore, any other questions out there? Somebody distract me. Let's see here. Not seeing a whole lot of ads. Hi. Time to sign up for the lottery. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Oh, question. At least I saw that one. Make sure. I don't know how. Do you know how you actually get that highlighted at there? Because I've actually tried to do the live chat before, and I don't know how to actually
I don't know,
tag
but even
somebody.
if they do that, at least you know.
That's true. I mean, it's nice when it shows me that big orange bar there, but if I...
Adham asks, what team did I focus on after Phoenix Squad? And after Phoenix Squad was my Jedi Squad Bastila lead. And then I'm also focusing on Empire at the same time, because what I'm doing is trying to now have multiple teams. I actually need up to 8 teams for Grand Arena right now, and I'm like brand new to Grand Arena, so you got to start diversifying, which is really difficult.
Gotta diversify with your money. You don't go back there and just throw it straight in the mattress.
I got 3 today. 3 today's okay, but that's 10
pretty
battles.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. 30% drop rate.
My Boskin Wicket, I'm lucky if I get, 1 to 3 shards about a week right now. I'm getting skunked on that quite a bit. So I don't know if there's some big cosmic balance going on in the Force or whatever, but it's not favoring certain characters that I really want right now. Oh, and a good Django. Good.
And Django always drops better than Bosk for me, and I don't know why. It's a better shard. And look at this. I get stun cuffs. I get the Mark IV, which currently I need the Mark IV data pads like a ton. Everybody needs those. You can see the little flag is on there even. And then the ship is doing pretty well as well. I mean, look at this. We're going to 6-star for both.
We're in 6-star territory here until you hit that 7-star, and then
that's some sort of a record.
Could be. And notice there's another question right above that. Darth Skywalker was asking about his clones. My clones are my only Gear 12 characters. Should I take my rebels to Gear 12 or wait till the clone reworks? Is there going to be a clone reworks though? I mean, now that they've been hinting at things. They're part of certain factions that they talked about working on, but I think that's a little bit more up in the air. You could just be a good theory at this point, but I would say unless you have other things to work on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that there's something happening with clones because they've kind of hinted at it, and where they're not done with all of this new stuff. And I think they're probably going to introduce at least one, maybe two new clones. I'm hoping actually for just 2 marquees, and then both be just solid clone editions that are marquee, and then people can buy them up to 7 stars if they want, or just farm them in 3 to 4 months. So I'm hoping for marquees and a couple of new guys. They definitely should. That faction actually needs touch-ups. When I say touch-up, it's not a full rework. They just need to tweak some of the abilities, like maybe make the entire team not crit and just do straight non-crit damage and take all the bonus turns, because then General Kenobi and Barriss Offee, who just totally destroyed those teams, are no longer relevant. And then you could focus solely on offense and they would actually do more damage. Bring in a new character who regenerates their protection, and for every bit of bonus protection, they do bonus damage equal to 1% of their health. Something like that. They could really turn that team into an offense powerhouse without it being defensively very good, which, sometimes you want teams to be really good defensively, and sometimes you want them to be really good offensively.
True. Especially with them being known for their speed, too. I think offensively that work out really good against those really difficult defensive teams. Let's see here. Saw another question run by... Somebody asked if they want... Tomas, I think maybe, asked if he should stop farming Mission and Zalbar to farm Darth Revan characters. I would actually say off the bat, no, because if you don't already have Darth Revan, then you can't really go for Darth Revan. So, or if you don't have regular Revan, you can't go for Darth Revan at that point. So I would say, unless you have him yet, obviously with Mission and Zalbar, if you're still farming him, you haven't. So keep on that. Let's see here. Question for the Malik event. Ooh, not gonna be able to help you out here. It's a sore spot for me. I got to attempt that a few times, and it wasn't fun. I can see what all the complaining was about, really, of just people talk about how bad the Padme event is, and I don't know. I would still say probably Malik at this point.
Here we go. Slice it up.
What we got?
Offense percent is great. I will take offense percent over flat offense any day, but I was hoping for speed.
Well, yeah, especially when you start getting in the 1s and 2%, and you can see a noticeable increase on that, as opposed to, you got 74 offense. The hell does that mean? Question. Message.
Tenacity. No.
He's not tenacious D enough for that. Have to even worry about it. Let's see here. Well, that's an interesting one. Aldre473 asks, who is more important, Shore Trooper or Death Trooper?
They're both, but Death Trooper unequivocally. You can get away with never having Shore Trooper, sadly. He's great, and he's got his purposes, but Death Trooper has Death Mark and is Empire and Imperial Trooper and has the double shot and days with Rebels, and so he's one of those few dark side characters that's really stylized to take out territory battles. And so he's also good with PvP and all of the PvE content. So definitely Death Trooper's a must. Shore Trooper, you need him for the ship, but you don't have to do that ship right now. It's not really current meta. And Shore Trooper can... Yeah, and he can be replaced by Range Trooper on an Imperial Trooper team because Shore Trooper keeps him alive. Well, you don't need that anymore because Range Trooper keeps him alive with the retribution, protection up, yada, yada, yada.
And when it comes to style, everything looks better in black. I mean, let's just be honest here. Let's see here.
Mono Omegas. Omegas.
Oh,
Omegas.
Mel.
Or not.
Awesome. Speaking of which, I watched The Karate Kid last night. Was feeling a little nostalgic, like, hey, I've heard a lot of, memes about this recently again, get him a body bag. But I gotta say, when it comes right down to it, man, did I not realize just how cheesy and terrible that movie is as far as movies go. Back then, it was pretty bad. Let's see here. Who else? What other questions? At SureShot, are your... Am I related to Aaron Kaufman from Fast and Loud? No, but for a while there, I was very jealous of his beard until I realized after comparing pictures, because that's what you do. No, I had a couple people actually tell me, but once I started to reach his length and saw that they looked kind of similar, I was just like, okay, good, I can be done with that one now. And the show was pretty entertaining for a while, but now that he's not part of the show anymore, gotta say I'm not as interested. Alcoholics just aren't really as funny to me anymore. So unless you actually have the stable one next to him to throw out the nice dry humor occasionally when you need it, so gotta say I miss him on the show. But I think he's done a few things on his own, and I can't remember what the name of the show is, but I've seen a couple episodes of that, and that's pretty good too. Let's see. At Warrior Presents, Francois Brown asked, just got the characters required to 7-star Darth Revan. Should I gear them to get Malik, or should I focus on the Separatists to get 7-star Padme? Padme.
Darth Revan and Malik are more important than Padme. Padme is important. I think she's great, but she also requires a bunch of characters that have had zero relevance up to this point. For the most part, I mean, General Kenobi's had relevance, but outside of that, Ahsoka had no relevance up until just recently. Jedi Knight Anakin was very little relevance, ship only for the most part, or very specialized in Grand Arena, but wasn't used a whole lot. So they've tweaked some of those characters to make them more relevant, but most people aren't going to be using those characters in Arena and whatnot. And the Padme team is really, really solid. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. So are the General Grievous teams, but you kind of have to prioritize. And bottom line for PvP, we know Revan and Darth Revan are the number 1 and number 2 best teams. So I'd focus on the Revans for sure.
Unfortunately, that's the standard they've set and what we have to adhere to if we want to be competitive, or at least, some people want to have fun. I've tried to say that I'm going to more of a character collecting mode myself because, as I was talking before, as being free to play and in the shard that I'm in, I got to be happy with getting up to the 500s as far as Arena goes now, because it's just that gap is getting so much wider with those Revans and Darth Revans that it's just no point in even... No, I wouldn't say no point. It's just pretty well impossible to actually make it up to that competitive point and even think about getting into the hundreds again, because I think probably the lowest or highest, however you want to call it, I've been in Arena has been like 220 or something like that. So it's definitely one of those things that you get to kind of settle in to where you can actually fit in and make it worthwhile. So these days I'm actually getting knocked back to 700s, 800s pretty regularly, make my way back up to the 500-ish, and then that's about as far as I can go before I get too many roadblocks that I just can't get through. Heck, even these days, Night Sisters can chew my Jedi team up where they used to not really be much of an issue before. So it's just interesting how the balance of the Force is off there. Let's see here. Who else? Samo DK, I think is how you'd say that one. Warrior, building a bounty hunters team with a double Zeta Bosk, Cad, Jango, Dengar, and Boba. Is it worth putting a Zeta on Jango lead for a potential bounty hunters scoundrel 3 versus 3 team?
Yeah, his lead is legit. It's extra speed. In fact, when I find myself going against somebody in Grand Arena, even 5 versus 5, and I realize I have inferior mods, I actually switch to a Django lead for the extra speed to try to help my guys. Even though it's a slightly harder bounty to acquire, the extra speed most of the time really, really helps with that. So I like to mix it up too. I don't want to always have just the same team because they use the same counter. And then when the counter changes, they're like, wait, what? So, sometimes they get lazy. They realize, oh, he's got a chintzier Bosk, so I'm going to take in this subpar team because I'm going to save that team for something else. And then when I switch it up, they're like, oh crap, that's not what I was expecting.
And really, the emphasis has always been on speed before, but I think it's even more so now than it used to be. So that's always a key factor in that. When you have a character that just naturally gives a whole team speed, that's a good help. Let's see here, who else?
So we have Grand Arena.
Ah, here we go, getting the interesting stuff now. I was contemplating doing some Grand Arena myself before we started this today, but then I was like, well, we got 5 hours, so that gives me plenty of time to completely forget it, by the end of the afternoon. So,
So I guess we'll go into my defense first, and you got to remember this gets locked a few days ago, so I didn't have my Zeta on Emperor Palpatine. I hadn't popped him to Gear 9 yet. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to look kind of crappier because I just upgraded a bunch of characters. I like to save them up and then do all upgrades on one day and like fill the chat room with as much upgrades as possible. It's kind of fun. People are like, wow, it's like, yeah, he's a baller, even though there was no updates for like 3 weeks in there for me.
But then you're paying attention, so suddenly...
Yeah, and then so I'm going to showcase my defenses. It's okay. I'm all right with this because it's just the sake of the live stream. And if the Sereth Lakit is watching, Sereth Lakit can see what we have. This is a Rebel team. Nothing special here at all. Gear 8, 7-star, level 80. This is like when I unlocked Thrawn, I stopped with these guys. So there's nothing here. It's just a filler team. I don't have a ton to really use. And then, of course, back here, I did another Rebel team. I really feel like Akbar's a great leader, so I put him in the lead. I normally put Wedge and Biggs together so they can kind of have that synergy.
It's like sacrilege there.
Yeah, but I put in R2D2 just because my R2D2 is way more powerful right now than Wedge, and I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit more defensibility here. Side note, Jacob John says greeting from Denmark, and he gave money. I really appreciate that, Jacob. That was a very nice donation. So thank you very much.
You love me.
Yes.
You really love me.
Yes, I actually, what's crazy is, we've talked about my Denmark heritage and that I have family from both Germany and Denmark, and I have a number of viewers who are from both Germany and Denmark, but a lot of people from Denmark that live in Denmark, which I thought was really, really cool. I love how YouTube connects the world together. I think that's just amazing how, 80 whatever years ago, my family could come from over there to here, that I know that we talk on a silly game stream, and you meet people that probably have family lineage that is very similar in nature to mine, neighbors and things like that potentially. I mean, Denmark's not that big, so pretty interesting. So I love having everybody hopping on and talking about where they're at. I do see Fleming say, why Chopper and not Zeb? Well, because I'm trying to use Zeb on offense for a very specific, you got to daze so many times to get, like, there's this one, well, shoot, I'll pull it up in a minute, but it's one of those things that you work towards, achievements or whatever. And so I'm trying to keep him on offense just so I can use his daze.
Keeping him on offense rather than on ice.
Yep, and then let's see. So obviously I've got my bounty hunters, and I do bounty hunters on offense, and I do bounty hunters on defense. And so this is my defensive team. They're not very good. They're level 70, except for Bosk. And you see Bosk is not level 9. He's gear 8 in this because the lock happened before I popped his gear to gear 9. So, this team is not very good. It's only 28,000 power, not like 40 or 50,000 power like some of the others that I see. And then up here, I just synergy, right? I'm just using Imperial Troopers because they synergize well, and if they get going, you're kind of in trouble. So you kind of have to bring in something decent, or all of a sudden it backfires and you start going around, So Tim Jarvis says, Scissorman, what's your thoughts on where the Padme teams rank in the game? The Padme team is definitely top 5. General Grievous team is top 5. Revan team is top 5. Darth Revan team is top 5. And then that 5th slot, it really depends on, how you're running and what you're running. But I would say that 5th slot's kind of tied for Night Sisters, First Order, Resistance, with, Jedi Training Array. There's a bunch of those teams that are really, if you're specializing in that. I got people that love Night Sisters, and that's all they do is Night Sisters. And they've got their teams so tweaked just right that they can kill basically anything with it. So those teams, if given enough love, definitely can kind of get into that, number 5 slot, but it just depends on how stylized somebody gets with it. So all right, so really quick, the guy asked why I am not using, so we go to quests. That's what they're called. Quests. Yeah, so Jawa juice. I still can't believe they call it that. It's disgusting. Run them over, and what do you have when you run over a Jawa with a steamroller? Jawa juice. Sand people. That's cool. Order 66. I'm just slowly earning these.
Tusken Raider sand people.
I know. It's so politically incorrect. The pit, I'm not going to get these pit ones. There's a bunch of these, by the way. Someone said, hey, your team sims them, so you're never going to get these rewards, but the rewards are trash anyway, so who cares? The truth is they're not trash. I've had like 10 of these. And they're all like anywhere from 5 to 25 crystals and anywhere from like 50 to 150,000 credits. Give me a break. For free to play, that's amazing. So I'm stuck indefinitely unless we go away from simming occasionally.
Every crystal counts.
Like this one's stupid. This one's dumb. If this one never happened, my OCD would be bothered, but my pocketbook wouldn't be, I wouldn't, my credits is nothing.
Box is left unchecked.
I know, but this one's, decent, and there are some better ones, and they keep giving you better and better ones. Sometimes they give you a crappy one, then they go back to a better one. And then here are the ones I am personally going for. I launched it, but I haven't actually done this yet. It says win 10 battles on offense with Han Solo in your squad. I haven't used him yet, which is crazy. I need to do that. And then 3 battles on offense with an undersized squad. He's not really strong enough to do that yet, but I checked it, right, because I have him and I'm developing him. So that's one. This one is the one I'm doing, and look at those rewards, dude. I'm like drooling right now. They should be doing more of this in the game for sure. But I got to daze enemies 20 times, and I always put Zeb on defense, so I never get credit. So I've got to bring him onto offense and do that. And then revive an ally one time. That'll be something I have to do as well. And then the last one, I was like, why not? Bounty hunters. You get to unlock some cool pictures. At each level, you unlock a picture. And so I was like, okay, we'll do this. So defeat Wampas with Boba Fett present. That'll take forever. Fulfill his contract. I've only done that a couple of times. Get him to gear 12. Well, he's, one of the characters I'm developing, so it'll all happen. But, you can have up to 3 of these at any given time. So I figured that's what I'm doing. So that's what Days is for. Days is for that. I'm looking to, daze somebody. So let me see his front row, and he's got a couple of really good. Actually, let's do something else really quick. I'm really scatterbrained today. Let's go into here. So when they do this and they put everybody in this list before you fight, it goes by GP. So I happen to have the highest character GP in the entire group. Now I am way diversified, which means there could be some people in here that happen to have some gear 12s and stuff because they were more hyper focused, and that would be good for them and not good for me. But in theory, I've got more GP, which means I can potentially do better. He is here, and not a huge focus on arenas. Does have a double Zeta a Yoda lead, which that's actually a good lead. So pretty good. If we go to inventory and then we go to power, these are the top 3 rows. Looks basically like me. Bunch of gear 10s, some 9s, and a couple gear 8s. Not all of the same characters as me, but a lot of the same characters as me. So you can kind of see that he's got Empire in there, and you can see real hyper focus on those smugglers, which I'm just barely starting to get into. So interesting on that. And you can see a lot of 7-star characters. In fact, he's developing out Bastila Shan finally, so that's really good. Has an Infus Nest in there, so that's pretty good. And then down here, it starts to kind of fall off a little bit. Bosk is being developed, and there's no ships in this particular battle, and I appreciate that. When there's ships, I get totally slaughtered because this is 50% of the GP equation, ships is, but you only have 1 battle out of, 5 or 6 battles. It's like, so it's half of your GP equation, but only 1 of 5 or 6 battles. Right. Why couldn't that 1 battle be weighted higher then? Right. If it's really going to be 50% of your GP allocation potentially,
Or
shouldn't it be worth more GP if it's going to count as a detriment against you?
Right.
Anyway, just my opinion. So let's go ahead. We're going to do a battle. Let's talk it through really quick because we've got a couple of things. Up down here, he's got 2 gear 10 and a gear 9. So these are some pretty powerful characters. 7-star gear 10. You can't underestimate them. They're definitely going to. They got a taunting tank that's going to be hard to kill. Someone who's going to be countering and ability blocking. So taking in like Jedi might be a mistake. But who do I have outside of Jedi that can do mad damage? So that's going to be tough. And then Yoda, and then old Ben. I don't know why I just called him a
Old Dookie.
Yeah, old Dookie pants. But he's decent. And then of course Darth Vader is super solid, does a lot of damage and regenerates his health. So this is going to be interesting. This is a really tough one. So let's go and see what I have in my 3 versus 3 offense. So these are some of the teams I kind of put together just to see. And so I think these bottom teams are a mistake because these bottom teams probably would lose pretty easily. So I've got to go up to the top. Now, the problem is that I have with this is I'm afraid that my Geos are just flat out not strong enough to beat that team, even though there's some synergy there. I'm afraid that the Geos are okay, but they're not like meta. They're definitely not. And this is sadly my second strongest team. Which is why I save them, and they do surprise me. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to beat Darth freaking Vader at gear 10. So
If they weren't dazed and stunned and all that, with actual just offensive power, what they could actually deal out in damage is pretty good, but they're pretty squishy, all of them.
So yeah, so I don't know. This is going to be really tough. If you guys have suggestions, you guys can kick them out. I'm definitely open to hearing your guys' suggestions on what I should do. That's a 46,000 power team. This team, I am not concerned about Mace at all. And Yoda is powerful, but I can get extra speed and go faster than him. And then Qui-Gon's kind of squishy. So 2 squishy characters. If we look, his modding is subpar, not speedy enough, and damage-wise, not really very good damage. So, I think I could do an undersized battle to free up one of my characters. I'm thinking Ezra is going to do enough damage. He can take out 2 of these guys. And if I did Ezra under Bastila, there'd be durability to win. But I'm just afraid of their Yoda accidentally one-shotting one of my characters because Yoda tends to do that.
Randomly, but it does happen.
Yeah. So what if we took in Bastila and Yoda to make sure I have enough offense and durability? Do you think I could win with Bastila and Yoda only?
Given how you would mod the characters and what you've got going on there, I would say yes, but it all depends on if he happens to have a little bit more going on in the background there. Have you seen what their mods look like?
They're modded crappily. The only downside is they're like, gear 11, 7-star and maxed out abilities. But speed wise, I mean, look at this guy's about 44,000 health and protection. I mean, I can do that damage in one hit with Yoda.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a gamble, but man, I'd say you've got a pretty good chance with those 2. Especially with the durability that Bastila gives you.
Todd O'Rourke actually brings up a good point. With my Geo Spy, I can do a ton of damage when they have buffs because he dispels and does 40% damage for each one dispelled. I've done 55,000 damage with one of my Geos before. And I think that I would be better off taking in a higher powered team down below, even though this is a Jedi team. There's a lot of synergy here. You know what? This is the deal. If I take in Thrawn, I can fracture their Yoda, and this team's just screwed.
Yeah.
So if I just take in Thrawn, and then I could take in Han Solo just for the stun first, and I could get that Han Solo needs to do a battle, but I don't know what they have in the back row yet. Right. But Thrawn would of course Thrawn could be used down below too, and it would just shut down Dooku, who I would need to do that, so he's not countering. I can also shut down Darth Vader
20 times in a row.
Yeah, so I think we'll save Thrawn. So how about we do this? How about let's do this. Let's go Bastila. Let's go Ezra for the damage. And let's go Spy for the damage and Dispel. So I have 2 Dispellers. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Thoughts, you guys. What do you think? This is going to be we're going against Yoda, which is a bit of a concern for me. I've got to really take him out fast. Do you guys think I can win with this team composition? I'm pretty confident I can. Geospy is going to be able to do a lot of damage. He stays stealthed, and Ezra should be able to do enough damage. And there's a lot of durability with this. Plus, I have 3 Dispellers. So
we have a few easy wins, sure.
Keep the bugs together. I don't think I'll actually need to keep the bugs together in the back row. I think it's going to get easier in the back row. And Sunfac and Soldier.
Say that is 3 Dispellers. I mean, yeah, I guess they all have their own ability to do such.
Yeah, that is almost too much, huh? Okay, so should we do...
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is a lot. What if we just do old Ben because we get turn meter removal, we get a tank, he'll have an auto taunt. I think this one's good without using Yoda. I'm just trying to keep Yoda. All right, this is easy. This is an easy battle. I think that Obi-Wan should be a good complement. He's Jedi. We're sticking with Jedi. Obviously, kill order is going to be Yoda, and then Qui-Gon Jinn, and then Mace Windu. Really, Yoda, once Yoda's down, will be good. And I think I have far superior modding. So, well, not think, I know. So I think we're going to get this insanely good. Yeah, Kanan could put offense down, so that would be a good thing. But we're going to go ahead and rev up Ezra, and Ezra should be able to do a ton of damage. Come on, bam, bap. And now we're going to call, and we're going to do an ability block if it doesn't kill him. There we go. Got rid of him. That was super easy. Let's go ahead and rob them of their first turn and ability block them. Let's see if we can get a stun. There we go. Let's do some mad damage. 28,000. That's okay. Bam. This was stupid easy. I don't even know why. I'm like, this is all new territory for me. Really new territory for me. Let's get rid of his buffs. Bam.
That's overkill, master.
Yeah, that's overkill, master. I want to make sure I win, you know what I mean? And I want to win with a bunch of points. That's max points right there. 54 banners is all your health, all your protection, all your units, first attempt, victory. Victory, as Urban Blaster would say, victory.
Oh, I was automatically thinking drama from Entourage, but hey. There was a couple questions up there that I was going to give to somebody. Oh, I think it was Dalthazir, maybe was his name, was giving us a shout out. So hey, how's it going? Man, I forgot the other one already. Oh well, you can come back around to it again. Otherwise, you can ask it again if you want.
Steve. This is a team for Geos.
Yep. Well, hey, you got them all still, so I'm not going to have to worry about too much.
All right. So let's do...
Nah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. You need to just go and for Palpatine, Thrawn, and...
This is the most durable team that I'm going against. They should be pretty durable. So what my thoughts here is it'll give me the most chances at dazing them, because that's my daze right there. You see that, you guys? Whack, that's daze. Okay, whack, that's daze. Yeah, whack, daze. So definitely I can get a lot of attempts at daze. Thrawn is to just kind of put whoever's an idiot on timeout, like Dookie Pants. And then Yoda's there for the DPS, and he's a decent leader for himself. So I think we'll...
The Jedi team you're going against, or is that...
No. This is the Vader,
oh, okay.
Dooku, and whoever else that didn't matter.
I was looking away at that time. I didn't know. I was like, wait,
all right.
What are you putting them out there for?
Yep. So this should be pretty good. All right, here we go.
Let's make this happen. Remember the other question. Somebody was asking how you knew what the gear levels were. And if you're just looking at the icons of them, somebody maybe have already answered this for you in there, but when you see the symbols around the picture, when it has little slices or not, or if it's purple or yellow, that tells you what the gear level is. So depending on actually how many little stacks are on there, you can tell if it's gear 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. And even when they have the pictures now, they are nice enough to give you little Roman numerals down there. So got to brush up on those if you don't know them already.
Yikes.
I know I have to. Wouldn't you? I know I would. Whoa, what happened here?
I'm Dookie.
Dookie. Dang Dookie. Oh, you didn't get a chance for the fracture, did you?
I fractured Kylo first because I didn't want Kylo taunting. So I was trying to take out their tank first. Big mistake, I think, but man, this is gonna be really problematic. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. There's a daze.
It's gonna happen.
There's a second daze.
It's okay, it's gonna happen.
Come on, take him out. Almost. No, 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 no.
Hold on,
All right. Come on. No, daze. I've got like 100% potency. Dang it.
Oh, and right before Thrawn had a chance to give him some protection.
No. Oh man, this is no good. Yeah. Oh
Stop it with that daze.
man, this is
Daze for days. Yo.
man.
Darn it, Dookie Pants.
Wah, wah, wah. That was tough. Well, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, which is why I took in Thrawn. And I thought my Yoda was going to do way more damage, but Yoda he was like a bump on a log. I mean, he looked really pathetic without his Bastila lead. So I should have saved Bastila for down south. This is a problem. They're really primed up now. So now I got to figure out...
Gotta send a full team in too, bro.
Yeah, you do. You want to send in a full team, and this is why if you don't and you lose again, you just screwed yourself out of a few extra points, and you want to try to recover. Let's
Unless
see.
You're confident that they can go in with two people and take it out to get you extra points. Yeah, it's better off not.
Yeah. So this might be best for Geos just because they're my strongest, and they... Shoot. I don't know, man. Dooku's almost dead, so...
True. But he loves to regenerate.
These guys are really, really strong. I hate the fact that Darth Vader is the leader on the other side. But let's do this. This is my best thing. Something with Daze or Stun. That's all right. We're going to do a double shot, and this should kill him. Boom! There we go. That was quick. Let's go ahead and whap. There we go. Bap, bap. Those are my special sound effects. Double molly whop. Boom! Pop, pop. And then let's do it again for the win. Pop, pop. Ping! And badoom. All right. That was...
Time to absorb there, like,
Yeah, that was absolutely terrible. They wouldn't have been able to win had I taken them in first. I should have, so lesson learned here, I should have taken in Bastila Shan Fallen with Yoda and maybe like Sunfac. Or my Dazer like, Kanan. Or Zeb. Yeah, Zeb would have probably been pretty good underneath that, so I could have got my Dazes, because I was looking for a Daze. I think that would have been a better alternative. Daze plus Bastila. Plus Bastila can call and assist, so I could have attempted that a couple of times or whatever. But anyway, so it's not clean, but a lesson learned. If I'm going against a really strong Empire team, I probably should take in my stronger team. Let's see what he's got in the back.
What's hiding back there?
Gear 9s. All three are damage dealers. Gear 9, 7-star, level 85. This is going to be a lot of damage. So this should be my next battle. I should take in my very, very most powerful characters. For this, I really feel like something like this is, something like this. It's really, really squishy, but it's 3 damage dealers versus 3 damage dealers kind of thing. So, plus I'm going to get some speed going. I'm gear 8 and he's basically gear 9. So that's a bit of a problem. Ezra should be pretty squishy for him though. Yeah, only like 30,000 for him, so that's not terrible.
I do tend to forget how squishy Ezra and Yoda can be without Basilisk. So if you're throwing them in there thinking, "Oh yeah, good damage," oh wait, yeah, no bonus protection. Dang it. Oh, and somebody asked me if I'd heard about the show on YouTube called Cobra Kai. That's actually what got me thinking about Karate Kid again. And interesting side note, or a little food for thought for you. I haven't seen any of the episodes yet, but just in the preview that I saw for it, are they trying to bring back Cobra Kai as like the new good guys and like Daniel LaRusso's like the new jerk or whatever? Like, are they trying to switch roles on us here? What's going on with that? Maybe you can let me know.
So Ezra is a damage dealer, but Sidious has got the ability to just shut you down health regeneration wise, and so does Kylo Ren. So I'm thinking,
Expose on his AoE too, doesn't he?
I'm thinking, yeah, potentially. I'm thinking we kill the leader, and then we kill Ezra, and then we kill Kylo last. Because Kylo's AI isn't the best. He'll probably jump around and give himself turn meter. And the AoE is a little bit less impressive than his ability to regenerate his protection. And yeah, I think this is going to be a speed game. It's about doing damage as fast as possible. So I do think actually I need to take in this lead and this. Now my question is, I should do this because I guess my follow-up team, if I lose, is going to be bounty hunters, but I'm going to actually take in my bounty hunters for the team up north, because I think my bounty hunters will have a better shot at killing those guys. So this is what I think I'm going to go ahead and do. Yeah, let's go ahead and try this out. And yeah, gear 8 for all these guys. So I'm a little bit weak on here, but all right, let's do it. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little force crush action. Let's do a little bit of molly whopping. Whop. Let's get a little bit of stunning. Please stun, 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 stun. Dang it, that's what I didn't want. That's what I didn't want. That's what I was trying to kill immediately. Kayuket! That was no damage at all. Man, they're like not doing... My guys are just not doing damage. This is really bad because he regenerates health too.
Right.
Oh, I gotta heal. I gotta heal. No, 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 no. This is so bad. My Vader can heal, but he's got a heal block on him now. Man.
Come on. Come on.
Nope, dead. That's what I was afraid of. Man.
They didn't really give you much of a chance to even try with that one. I don't know if it was RNG or just mods or what, but what the heck?
Well, I just don't have a whole lot of good characters. I've only got a few, and like I said, I went all in on ships because it earns me 400 crystals a day. Well, then I have a bunch of trash characters that don't work as well in Grand Arena, so this is very, very difficult. I've got to kill Kylo, and I've also got to kill these guys, and this is gear 9 and 10. Like, even though they don't do much damage, there's super regeneration. I mean, there's 2 healers here. There's Kanan who can regenerate protection and put offense down. This is a problem. I may not be able to actually clear this. I don't really have anything left that's powerful. I'm gonna probably have to take in. My bounty hunters here, because I don't think I have anything down here that's worthy of doing enough damage. I mean, these guys don't do... Look at these level 60, level 50. These are all trash down there. So I've got to do 2 battles with the top 6. Boy. Kylo Ren Unmasked, I think, could help with control, with the stun. I think I could, potentially take in Han Solo, because he can stun, but he's also one of my squishiest characters. So I think we'll do... I mean, I'm really, really, really hoping I can do enough damage, but I just don't think I can. But, I mean, I need to keep some synergy for that top team. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I have left is that bounty hunter team, and that bounty hunter team very well might be able to take out that top team. So...
there's potential there.
Yeah, so I got to take in Han Solo, Kylo Ren, Biston. What's funny is Biston's one of my more powerful characters. Again, he's for ships, which really sucks. I got to use him. I just don't think I can kill this Kylo with this team. There is some control here, though, so we're going to try it. I don't think I'm going to get a full clear, man. So let's come over here and let's get rid of him. And then let's go ahead and get control. We'll put frenzy up. Let's do some... That's not much damage. Let's get turn meter removal. Didn't happen. Let's get some damage up. Let's do some basic whop. He's definitely going to get that. We'll stun him again. Let's do a special whop and then another whop. I really want that extra damage. He's going to get it all back here in just a second. We got to stun him again. There's a taunt up at least. Basic, and then let's get the stun. Here we go. Stun. Nice. And then basic.
Boom.
Man.
There you have it, folks. Oh, boy. Now, with the mic situation somebody asked earlier or mentioned we could just put it in between us. I think before we've tried that and we've had a few complaints about the lack of sound quality. So we're trying to do the pass back and forth thing. I'm just not being enough of a jerk and just yanking the thing away from him when I want to say something. So we could try the middle section again, put it in between us, but that kind of tends to lessen both of us at that point. So not sure.
Not at all. We've done multiple mics. It sucks really, really bad. I don't have all of the hardware to try and do multiple mics without feedback. So one mic is all we can do that's going to sound good. This guy, SureShot, just needs to grab the mic when he's talking. That's all. So we'll have him do that.
And we'll get to a fight over it, and we can sit there and thump the mic a bunch of times and really piss people off because it gets all screechy. Hey. Let's see. Is there any other questions going on here? There's some few of them flying by.
I had to do 2 battles on that one, 2 battles on that one, and you know what? We're gonna do 1 battle here, but I don't know, man. Gear 8, 9, and 10 with multiple healing capabilities, and honestly, they don't do a ton of damage. But on Gear 8 characters with 10,000 health and protection, you know, who knows what this will look like? We're gonna go bounty hunters.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Keep hope alive. Rip his head off. Let's see here. Oh, somebody said thanks for the tips on Geo ships. All right.
30,000 squad power.
Wonder Twin powers activate. No, you're just looking for that paid out right away. Of course, most of these guys may not be up to that point where they can actually get them yet, but we'll see what happens here. It's too bad I can't speak Spanish really fast because then suddenly I turn to an announcer like this is a soccer game all of a sudden and
going for the stun. Bzzz. I got to get out Kanan because Kanan is a serious problem. Let's do this. We gotta get our bounty. So I was trying to control him. Let's do this. I can't wait till I can get them a little bit higher. I'm really excited about them getting a little higher. Oh, I don't have the stun available. Dang it.
Wrong time.
I know. No, he's going to kill me. Kanan is going to be... let's go ahead and burn everybody.
He can shoot where he wants, so.
Yeah, I'm trying. No. This is the thing. They got multiple healers. I'm screwed. This is not going to kill her because his damage is like... It can do like 40 grand to 2 people, except for mine does like 2 grand.
Oh.
That one did 9 grand.
Hey, here you go. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now let's see if he can do a damage. Boom. Oh, let's stun him. Oh, he gains so much friggin' health, man. Oh, I'm just healing him. Damn it.
Pesky.
All right. We're going to get this guy. Let's kill this guy over here. Bam. Full protection back. Oh, let's get rid of that. Dispel. If for nothing else, it dispels and stuns. Now I've got to be able to do greater damage is my problem.
Oh, nice. I was to say, I'm still surprised what they were doing. Then you go up with that maneuver. Bam.
It just doesn't do much damage. I'm like, 12 grand was as most as I could muster, and 12 grand is pretty crap. But there we go. All right.
Somebody got their comment hidden, but it wasn't really as bad. I can just go ahead and read it off here. It says, "You're right, Warrior is way more of a jerk than you are." Not a jerk, just no, just a more assertive, I guess. Yeah, let me get that mic out of there. Let's see here. Who else has got question? Question: Which Kylo should I Zeta first? Zeta first, crew or original? OG.
Definitely leadership, Kylo Ren Unmasked, 100.
I got a first order team myself that's only sitting in the 70,000-ish GP, and then I threw that Zeta on and a few other gear pieces. Now they're up to like 75 and became very viable in territory wars because I always put them on for defense, and I usually get 2 or 3 attempts on them before they get knocked out because I think people just totally underestimate them. So I concur. Yep, definitely good battle. Good game, GG.
GG.
Of course, I say GG now and I always think General Grievous, which I had a hard time with the other day. I was like, Gamorrean Guard? Why would somebody use him as a lead? Oh, duh. Not really good with my acronyms in this game sometimes, I tell you. You'd think I would have been playing for over 2 years, but... There's a good one. Basic WAP. So we should have that like lined out for you. You got the single shots that are just like basics or just not very powerful. Or, it's only going to be a one hit. That's the basic WAP. Then you have somebody that could be either a 2-shot or maybe a call to assist. That could be the double WAP. And then, of course, anything that's call to assist with multiple shots or just an awesome shot could be the triple molly WAP. WAP.
There's some speed.
It is funny seeing Han only shoot once. I was looking for that the whole time going, what the heck is wrong? Oh, wait, no Zeta. Yeah. Funny how you use characters for so long and don't think about that till you see them actually lower geared or lower abilities. Oh, and personal shout out and plug to Zero Regrets, my guild. We are looking for other people, so if anybody happens to want to go check that out, that's Zero with an X, and we're looking for a few extra fill-ins. We had a few guys that decided that the grind was just getting too much, and I can't say that I blame them at this point in the game because they're in that, spend a little bit of money here and there type range, and once it got to the point that characters are just flying out and it was hard to keep on top of things, they just decided, yep, I got to take a break from this. So if anybody's in that 2.8 GP or mil GP range that needs to find a new guild, we're looking for the moment. So just wanted to throw a quick little plug in there for that. Thought that was unfortunate, but things happen. I get it. I'm actually in that boat myself sometimes. I kind of think I'm free to play. I've been doing this for 2 years, and really when it comes right down to it, if I'm actually looking forward to a marquee character for once, it's kind of a bad thing because for a while there I was getting annoyed with them popping up all over the place and coming out every few seconds, and the next thing you know, get a Malik event, a Darth Revan event, another Revan event, and then suddenly I'm like, you know what? A easy walkthrough character wouldn't be too bad right now, even though we have way too many characters in the game at this point as far as I'm concerned. We could tweak things a little bit here and there, but really it's getting a little saturated. Let's see, who else here? James Ferris wants to know, health or protection primaries for troopers with the addition of range trooper?
Neither. I think you naturally get more health and protection as you go up the line of gear. And what you should be focused on is damage. They're damage, and speed when you can get speed. But speed, especially on key characters like Stark, because he kind of gets things going. So if we go to the Imperial Troopers, I can kind of show you how I have them modded. Mine are not modded that well yet, but... Oops, Imperial Troopers. But so you can see here, my Imperial Troopers are the top 3, are the only ones that I really have worked on so far. I don't obviously have Death or Shore. And Veers has basically a crit damage set and crit chance set. However, this doesn't look right. This has crit damage here, which is why I think I put that in there. But obviously I'm not getting crit damage from the mod set. So let's go filter and let's do crit damage. I don't even think I need to have speed. I don't think I have speed. So yeah, see, I have nothing. That's why. It's, I farm for these, but sometimes it is what it is. So here I've got, there, I don't know why. Man, I haven't looked at modding him differently in a long time. So there we go. There's my crit damage set and speed arrow. That's actually hilarious. Let's see. I actually haven't looked at this in a while. Let's Let's remod. Let's remod. Let's remod. Whoop. All right, let's do this. So these guys are sorted by speed. And we're going to come over here and let's see. This is 6 speed and a lot of protection. There you go. There's how you get your protection. I like this one, though. It's 6 speed. It's blue, which means it has a greater propensity to roll because it's got 1 extra roll. And it's got offense and crit chance on it. And speed and crit chance have already rolled once. So let's first upgrade that bad boy so we get full benefits of it. And then let's assign it. There we go. And then this one, we're going to say it has 5 speed. This one has 7 speed, offense, and crit chance. So this is definitely going to be a better mod. So let's go ahead and upgrade it. And let's go ahead and assign it. Yay, look at this. All right, we're getting there. And this one's level 15 with 11 speed. That's pretty good already. And then let's go to crit damage or crit chance. We'll look at a wider swath. Let's see if there's a good crit chance one. We got a lot of level 1s. So what we're going to do is we're going to peek. I like to peek at these. I'm going to do 9, which is 3 upgrades to show the other 3 that are missing.
Gotta do a little quick peek to see what pops.
And
someone asked me to specify. The guild name is Zero Regrets, but that's 0 instead of Z, it's XERO, regrets.
There we go. Offense, speed, and crit chance. That is great. I don't really need the potency, but I'm going to assign that one because it's crit chance. And you can see crit damage goes up, potency goes up. Yeah, damage goes up. So we're definitely doing that. And then let's see if there's just nothing here. So yeah, sadly, I just, those triangles, the crit damage triangles are ridiculous. Let's unassign and let's just look in the whole world. What do I have? Because I think there's a lot of people I'm not using. Let's see if there's any crit chance. Definitely using those 2 characters. Definitely using that. He's a 4. That's a 4 dot. This one's dumb. This one's okay. And I use her for ships, but I don't use her anywhere else. It's health, which is dumb, but there's speed, offense. So that one's a possibility, and it would give me my crit chance bonus. So let's assign this one. So not perfect, but look I got more health, I've got more potency, I've got more speed, and more damage and more crit chance. And let's confirm it, and then let's roll this. Let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
Roll this mofo. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? More potency. Yes, thank you. Didn't need that. Oh, had another question here. Pass on by. Warrior, what's the best houndstooth counter at low level? At low level, that's different. Because for me, there is no counter right now.
Houndstooth at low level? Yeah, Geos. The Geos have, there's 1 character per ship. So they're not convoluted like Rebels, where you got to have 2 and 3 people per ship, where you've got to gear 2 and 3 people per ship. 1 character. Also, there's 1 ship, and the Geos together are insane. And they spoon feed the Geo ships to you through Galactic War, which is the easiest currency in the game to get. So that is that. Now, offense is good on these guys as well, offense or crit chance. So we're going to look and see what we have out there to kind of see. Currently, we have an offense tenacity, which I know why I threw that on there. It was just kind of a placeholder. But what we're looking for is speed. And so here's an offense at 15 with speed. We're going to replace this because we need the speed on Stark. So Stark is naturally fast, but you want him really, really fast. So we're going to add that. We're going to come over here and let's stick with the offense theme. Look at this. I have 6 offense mods on him. That's friggin' hilarious. We're going to stick with that offense theme for now. Yeah. And let's sort by speed. Yep. Good. And so let's come over to this top left. Look at this. There's an offense mod totally just sitting around like, hello, I don't have any. And I got 2 million credits, so we're good. I'm going to be able to actually get this accomplished today. So this is good. Yeah, look at that. Speed increase. There's a little dip in health and protection, but and I lost 9 damage, but I got some crit chance and speed. Speed at this point, that's semantic and loss. We can take it. For this one, I got another really good one right here. It's 12 speed. So let's definitely upgrade that bad boy. And let's assign that. And again, a small dip in health, nothing significant. I got 4 extra speed out of it, and my damage and crit chance went out or up, so that's good. And then this one is 13 speed. I'm going to keep that on there. And now that I have a good offense set, we're going to gander at what's available. 11 speed, that's not better. And crit damage. You know, that's probably why I put it on there, because it's crit damage. Colonel Stark. But let's do this really quick. Let's just peek at what's on this mod. Nope. Let's see if there's any crit chance and any health or any potency. I'm just looking to see what I got out there available. The sorting is still through speed. What do we have? I had to do that for a thing, but I have nobody that can wear it. That's sad. What's this one? Health. That's offense for Colonel Stark and 7 speed. So I'm gonna lose 4 speed. But what about health over here? Let's see if I've got any health mods for here. Because this is kind of a big deal. So this one, crit damage with 10 speed. He does not need crit damage. And look, it has offense, and crit chance. This is amazing. We're going health. We're gonna go health.
For the guy that's basically the whipping boy of your team and just needs tons of health, yeah, I don't think that worked out too well for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even using him yet. I just threw some offense mod or some health mods on him. So there's another 6 speed. My crit damage is now a truer 186, and I got my health I lost through those mods back. And I lost 4 protection. That's nothing. And then my damage went up, and crit chance is literally virtually identical. So that's a much better modding. Let's keep moving. We got to do range trooper now.
A little more build up, a little more beef up. Range troop. Oh yeah, gotta get that heel click ability up. You know, do a little more tap dancing. This makes me think I need to go back through my mods on my account, but every time I do, I always go, "Oh yeah, that's right. Haven't been paying as much attention to them, and there's not a whole lot there available. So, need to rethink my game a little bit on that because I'm lacking a little bit in that area. I tend to find a decent set for somebody, put it on there, and then not go back and revisit it for like months, which could be part of my issue in Arena. Other than the fact that Bastila teams are not really doing much anymore, which is unfortunate. Revan, one day. Somebody was asking what our thoughts would be, or probably your thoughts would be, on a CLS X-Wing. Well, obviously, I mean, that should happen at some point, shouldn't it? It only makes sense, but I'm assuming at that point they're not going to give that to CLS. They're probably going to give it to Jedi Knight Luke, if that guy ever comes out too. Would you think a double release on the horizon?
Yeah, it would probably come with the new character, would be my guess. But they could always retrofit a new ship for someone. They've done that before, like they did with Annie. You know, they brought his ship in, the ETA-2, out of nowhere, and they're always talking about increasing ships. So they could. Mm-hmm. We'll see. He'd probably get a speeder.
I was to say. Well, yeah, what's the name of the ship from Empire? A speeder. Yeah, that would be pretty hilarious. See CLS and that, and then Jedi Luke would actually end up getting the X-Wing, you know, yanked out of the water, sitting out there over on, not Jakku, where was the island that he was hanging out at? Either way, yeah, something from The Last Jedi. Get that ship out of the water. It's probably rusting. What are you thinking? Not going to be enough force to lift that sucker out of there with the amount of moss that was growing on it, I'm sure. Maybe you can get some porgs to help out. The pipes work, what? Oh, I see some requests for joining Warriors Guild. I'm not sure where he's sitting at with that, but just to clarify, that was for my personal guild. I don't know what Force Canada's doing. I mean, I don't know. There may be some openings in Team Instinct. What do you think?
There's always openings in Team Instinct. You just need like a 5 million GP, and then you apply, and there you go. As far as Force Canada, I'm not sure what we have.
And a credit score of 800 or above.
That's pretty fun right there. So this one's pretty good. It provides speed, crit chance. The other one has speed and offense. Both are health. So let's upgrade this and let's flip flop. Man, I spent 2 million in credits just remodding 3 characters. That's super sad. But look at the speed differential now. I went from 132 to 179. Health went up. Protection went up. My damage went up. My crit chance is nearly 50%, so that's still good. My armor went up. So, I think that the modding that I've done today was necessary. I haven't touched these 3 guys in well over 6 weeks, and so being able to go in and kind of tweak their mods. You notice I went offense and crit chance on one, offense and health on another, and offense or crit chance and crit damage on the other. Part of that is I'm using what I have. You gotta kind of have to use what you have. And the other part of that is all of that makes sense. You got to make sure that you're getting that crit chance and that crit damage and that offense on all of them. And so you have to do it kind of creatively with the mods that you have. And then don't forget, once you kind of have a decent mod set like this, you can then, especially if they're like white and blue and green, like most of these are, you can then slice them. And hopefully some of them will turn into really great mods and a few of them will eventually get replaced down the road. But mods are kind of an evolutionary thing. You put out what you can, the best that you have, and then you start to slowly slice and either get rid or slice, or farm for more and replace. So there's that. I've yet to buy any from the store with my free-to-play account because I never have enough credits to do that. But I do advocate saving up 10 million credits and holding on to it. But as I'm like many people out there, it's so hard to save anything, even though you want to. It's very difficult. I do have a question from Darth Skywalker. It says, can CLS beat both Revan teams? And it is exceptionally difficult for CLS to do it. But I had a guy on my leaderboard. He's a CLS nut. And when I had my Revan team totally tricked out as best as I could make my Revan team with my very best mods and had 2 months of fine tuning it, I still lost to his team and skipped around him. His team did so much damage so quick that he would kill a couple of people right off the bat. And even with revives, as soon as they got another opportunity, it was like death, 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 death. So it's possible. But again, it's kind of like Night Sisters. You've got to have somebody who that's all they care about. And that's all they're doing. And that's all they're tweaking. And they're learning because they're fighting it on offense and they're losing and they're going, what could have helped me win? I need more of durability on this guy. I need more damage output on this guy. And then they're tweaking. The average person at SCLS is not going to beat either of the Revans. On my free-to-play account, if I had all those characters, I could beat the Revans and the Darth Revans of my leaderboard. But it would really come down to, honestly, having superior modding on that team for you to be truly competitive. And then I also have Brandon saying, how's your Jedi team going?
My specific Jedi team? Your Jedi team?
Probably the one. Mine.
I know for my CLS, I've got him pretty well tweaked out, but when it comes to all the supporting characters that need to be around him in that specific arena team, I'm just not up to par with that yet, because not only do I not even have 3PO, I only have Chewbacca at 6-star, and he's only Gear 8, and not really viable to put in there because I was supplementing with a turret base combo. So now that that's nowhere near in the meta or even arena viable anymore, it's just kind of knocked my CLS team out of there altogether. So I've made a few attempts on some Revan teams where I've gotten lucky because it happened to be like a Gear 9 or 10 Revan with only one Zeta, and it was a maybe lucky RNG that day, but otherwise it's kind of not worth me even making the attempt.
All right, Brandon, here you go. I showed my Jedi team and General Kenobi, the infamous 144 out of 145 that everybody experiences with this character. On Facebook, on the Facebook group that everyone's in, it's like 55,000 players in there. What's really, really funny, I find, is every new player, when they get to this point, they go in there and they like, this is stupid. I'm one away, man. I always see those posts and I just laugh because it's like, everybody goes through this for this particular character, guaranteed, because it's just a standardized 6 across the board for when you're placing lower in. So, it's free to play. This is going to happen to everybody. I have Anakin, which I got, which is great. I had an idea I was going to do his ETA. I started farming his ETA and I started farming him. I do get distracted like every other person in the game. But then I realize, like, okay, I don't have the resources my main account has, and I'm going down the wrong rabbit hole for myself. Like, it's not a part of my 5-pillar system. I've got to stop. So then I let go. So like Anakin and his ETA were one of those rabbit holes. I thought, man, I'm going to kind of work him on the side and work his ship on the side. And I'm going to get this ship because this ship's awesome. And then there's nothing wrong with that. I'm right. But I don't have the resources daily to do this. So I abandoned this, which I would say is much smarter than continuing to grind this out and ruin the progress with the other characters that I am working on. So I ended him at 14 of 25 on the ship, and at the ability to unlock. I have not put any gear into him because I'm just like, oh man, what was I doing? The rework is tempting for sure to like start this back up and go, well, he's Jedi, he's got a ship and all this, but he's not on my pillar system. And right now the Galactic Republic are not a priority for me. They're really, really end game priority, not entry to mid-level priority. So I've got to stick with, not getting caught up in all of that. And so here you go. I've got basically the top row. And then of course, Kanan. And then Jolie will continue to get developed out. I'll eventually get the whole row minus Jedi Consular. I'll get the whole row gear 12. And then there'll be a few more Zetas on that top row. But my next Zeta is actually going to go to my bounty hunters. And come on, bounty hunters. There we go. And it's actually going to go to Bosk. He's gear 9. He's my strongest on this team. And I've got his abilities maxed out, except for a couple of Omegas. And I'm going to do his leadership ability, which you can see I'm needing some Omegas and some Zetas. The Mark III I get quite frequently. So the Mark III is not such a big deal. You can wait a couple days and get enough Mark III that you're fine. The Omegas come every day. So that's just a time thing. And when I start to get close on Zetas, meaning that I'm like within 5, I actually pause the purchases in the store let's go in and talk about that store. So let's get this. I hate seeing the reds. Yeah, I hate seeing the red. I'm still waiting for my Barasafi 4-star drop in there, by the way. But in shipments, people ask, why don't you buy Zetas from here? I do. I actually get almost 2,000 currency a day, but I've been using it to really max out all my ships. I've got Soldier maxed, Phantom maxed. I've maxed a ton of characters. Sunfax maxed, Boba Fett's maxed. I can purchase, Jedi Consular, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, Biston's ship, Cassian. There's a number of, well, not Cassian, but a number of them that are in here. I get Cassian from yeah. So, and then there's here, I've got 400. Biggs is maxed out, and now I'm working on Captain Phasma, who's almost, because I'm working on First Order on that as well. But so with this, the ability mats, once I get to around 15-ish naturally, then I switch. I stop buying stuff in the store and I immediately start buying nothing but Zetas for a week straight, get that Zeta and then move on. So I'm at 14. I'm pretty close to getting another one. Tonight, I could purchase another one if I wanted to. Let's go ahead and do, though, a ship battle. I'll do the ship battle and you can cover the questions.
The questionnaires. And then just regular questions, too, Let's see here. Oh, and of course, we can't forget your story time. If you have something waiting for us, there might be a few people out there. Nobody's asked for it yet, but,
Don't let me forget.
Reminders, slaps upside the head, it all works. I'm trying to go back and figure out what somebody said was too soon. I haven't seen any comments that I thought were, oh, wait a minute, hold on here. Playing new content about the new movies and TV shows. Yeah, that's a good point. There will be Jedi Luke here soon because of the new shows coming up, of course, are really trying to kill off the Skywalkers and all the OG characters and get them out of there and just, make them irrelevant now. So I'm not sure movie-wise if that's going to make it very relevant in the game, but I think that's something that's been requested and talked about and asked for enough, kind of like Revan was, that's eventually going to come around. And definitely one of the number one Luke fans sitting right here hoping that's going to happen one of these days because love CLS, but really, come on, where's the Jedi tag?
So I'm using Biggs, but I have used lots of different in this last 3 slots. I've used Biggs, I've used Houndstooth. My Houndstooth is getting there. It's 5 stars. So it's okay. I've got TIE Advanced up there. I've got Boba Fett up there. So I've got some good options. I'm just using this one because it's a Rebel with Rebels. It's another tank in case they chew through my other tank. He can call an assist, do target lock. So there's a bunch of little things. Plus, it's the most powerful ship I have that's left over.
Well, I think I can answer this question right off the bat. How do you think Padme has affected the pillar system, considering the Geos and Annie's hard node gear? She's now better to get than CLS. Yeah, but I guess really when it comes right down to it, that's so far endgame at that point. I think those are all characters that are kind of like oh, hey, I've got nothing better to do, or I've done something else, or I've got nobody else to farm right now. Let's go back and pick those up. I think for somebody who's early on is probably not going to really be thinking about Padme.
Padme's event is so ridiculously difficult that you have to have everything basically maxed out, and then you need certain zetas as well. So it's like a hyper developed team. And so because of that, it's one of those things where I still put it at, the 5th pillar. General Grievous teams are 5th pillar plus. Darth Revan is 5th pillar plus. There's actually, honestly, there's too much. You can pick up CLS with Gear 8 characters. So my free-to-play farming guide, guys, remember this. It's designed for free-to-play pillar guides. People that spend money don't need my guide. Not at all. I mean, they may use it as kind of who should I go for? I'm going to spend money on this team. Well, yada, yada, yada. But I'm talking about teams that realistically people can get at Gear 8, Gear 9, or if they hyper develop near the end game, they can pick up a couple of characters. For example, Chewie is more kind of in game, C-3PO is more kind of in game, but they're still attainable free to play. The other characters are attainable free to play, but they are so far into game and they're so hard to attain that I really do believe it's better for free to play who can't develop to really focus on those. Side note, I'm in a battle and I've lost 2 minutes already, so I should probably get going, but I'm going to triple mollywop this guy into oblivion.
I almost thought for a second you were doing that just to be cocky because you're going to just kind of run right through this, that you didn't really need the time. But, maybe it just could be that you wanted to answer the question.
I'm going to teach something, though. The people are going to like this.
He's going to learn you something quick.
Yeah, I'm going to learn you something quick. I'm going to teach you. So Houndstooth is very, very difficult when he's not stunned. But when he's stunned, you can do a couple of things with the Geos. You can take away turn meter, and you can do damage direct to health. And so you can actually take him out insanely fast by stunning him. A lot of people didn't know this. So you stun him, and look at that. That call to assist did half his health damage, and he's frozen in time. And we're going to go ahead and hit him again. Right to health. You see that? And then watch this. Right to health. Boom. Nothing. Now, he's a little easier than some of the others. Don't get me wrong. He was a 5-star. But I can do that. Stun and attack and to decimate a 7-star Houndstooth on my leaderboard. I've done it with in his Boba Fett is double zated Gear 11 with a 7-star Houndstooth. And I still do exactly what you saw. It just takes a couple more shots. So that's why I saved Geo Soldier's special a call to assist, because he removes turn meter and shares that turn meter reduction. Plus, he that call to assist when stunned goes straight to health and allows for you to really get rid of Houndstooth really fast. A lot of people didn't know this. When he's not stunned, he's nearly invincible. When he's stunned, he goes down really, really fast. And so, yes, it's one of those things I wanted to be able to showcase. We're going to now call Phantom. He's got his she. I guess the ship cries out in female language when she dies, so she's a she, I suppose. But we're going to go ahead and whop Hera now.
Well, Sabine being the pilot, I guess that makes sense. Otherwise, you just got, Ezra and Chopper hanging out back there, shooting those invisible guns that aren't there, kind of like on Ghost actually has them. Every time somebody says straight to health, I don't know why, I just automatically think, straight to hell.
And here we go. This is the power of the geos. I haven't even tried this whole game. I'm just casually playing and talking most of it. And it's just like, I don't even need my call to assists, but it's lightning fast. Geos are super overpowered. This is probably the best advice I could have given anybody who's playing free to play is go geos. And while it does hurt me a little in Grand Arena, the amount of crystal that I get through the days is accelerating my free-to-play growth insanely, which a lot of people don't have that kind of growth as free-to-play. They're like, why is Warrior so far ahead? This is why right here, you guys. It's because of the geos. The 3 geos, ships, and characters are singularly responsible for my direct success in the entire game.
And that's just long-term development that you can't pay for when it comes right down to it. So that's long-term thinking. It makes it kind of tedious and slow for some people who want that quick endorphin rush. They want that quick satisfaction of seeing the gear levels go up. But when you're calm and methodical about it here, that's where it pays off in the long run. Plenty of areas where I wish I'd have done that myself, even with the guy sitting right next to me telling me what to do. Let's see. Super Nicky wants to know if you think you can get Jedi Revan next time, and I would say you're probably pretty far off from him at this point.
Way off. Way off.
It's always a good thought. Heck, even I'm pretty far off at this point, and I've got maxed out Bastila and Jolie, but my Mission, Zalbar, and T3M4 are just not up to par yet. I think they're all 5 stars at this point, and I think I can almost guarantee I'm going to have to watch Revan go by at least one more time before I'm even viable for him.
Well,
is it about that time? Do we find the time ringing? The clock saying?
Yeah, we've been doing it for about an hour and a half, so we should be calling it good. I wanted to do an arena battle, but everybody is before me has their payouts and before me. And not only that, if you look, I mean, it's Zeta Revan with Jolie. That's going to be super difficult to climb through. When I'm hitting these refreshes, Porkins has his Zetas on both of those characters. The direct focus always kills somebody on my team immediately. There's no one survives it. And they always, I don't know why, they always target one of 2 characters. Almost always they target my Thrawn, and he's dead. And so Thrawn is useless at going against these specific teams. If they direct focus my Yoda, it almost always kills him. If he survives, I can almost always win because I can bring him back to life with regeneration and stuff, and his damage and the foresight that he puts up, even marked. So it depends on kind of who I hit. But there's Revans in the 30s already. And then there's some of these teams like Darth Gandalf. I can beat that team pretty easy, but he's got a payout in like 4 hours and mine's in like 7. So I don't really want to smack him before that. But the Emperor Palpatine teams like Trushka, he's got his payout in 5 hours, and mine's in 7. That team I can beat as well. The Emperor Palpatine teams are pretty easy. Look at this though. This is really interesting. Firmus Pete has Revan double Zetaed with Jolie, and then he has Mission and Zalbar and Bastila Shan. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But anyway, well, we've had a lot of fun today. We've had a chance to dive in. I want to do story time because I promised you guys story time. So we're going to do story time, and then we're gonna get out of here. So story time. I've got a couple of stories. You get to pick. Do you want a story about a rafting adventure or a story about getting mauled by dogs?
I've already had the story of pain for the day, so I guess it would kind of depend on which one involves more. Rafting does sound pretty interesting. Yeah, let's go with rafting.
Okay, you guys, story time. Story time with Warrior Presents. Andrew, don't bail yet, my brother. He's saying goodbye. That's my brother. My brother is saying later, but don't leave yet. This is a story that involves you, my friend. When we were children, we lived in Lincoln, Nebraska for a period of time, about 10 years. And Lincoln is in the Midwest, and there's not a whole lot. There's no mountains or anything, but kind of an interesting story. So my brother and I we had a really, really, really good childhood. My mom, single mom, raising 3 kids, did a really phenomenal job taking care of us. Never accepted help from anyone, no government assistance, nothing. She just single mom, busted out 3 children, took care of 3 children, was single because, didn't work out with hubby, unfortunately. So she did her very, very best, never got child support, my dad was locked away, sadly, due to natural circumstances of things he shouldn't have done. And so long story short, we had a really great childhood. However, we're kids, right? And we had a sense of adventure that we wanted to adventure in the world. We wanted to explore. We wanted to this. And I think a lot of kids, especially boys, have a sense of adventure, right? So this would never happen in today's day and age. This was back in the 80s. I was 6 or 7. My brother was 7 or 8. So we'll just go with 7 and 8. I was 7, he was 8. That's roughly the approximation. So we were little, right? And we we were talking, and I'm like, I want to go on a wild water, adventure. And he was like, all right. And we're like, let's run away from home. And this wasn't because we were upset with our mom or mad about our situation. And I think we really felt like after we ran away from home and got our adventure in, that we would then go back home. I mean, like, we kind of had that expectation that this was a temporary thing. So what we did is we was like, yes, we got backpacks and everything. And we walked to the bank. The bank was only about a half a mile from our house. And the bank is where we had savings accounts. And our names were on the savings accounts, as, it was like my mom's account with the child or whatever, and she like put our name on it and stuff. And we walked into that bank at 7 and 8 years old. I mean, we were friggin' children. And we walked up to the front and I said, I would like to do a withdrawal, please. And the lady looked at me and said, well, what's your name? And so I told her, and she said, okay, I found you here. How much? And I said, all of it. And then my brother said, I want to pull out money. And she goes, okay, how much? And he's like, all of it. And we only had maybe $100 each max in those accounts. I mean, we were kids and it wasn't a huge savings account.
Went a little further back then. So yeah, it's pretty substantial. I remember when $100 was a big thing in my mind.
But I mean, this was my mom trying to do the right thing to her kids and like have a savings account. And she was putting like $5 here and $10 there. And, she was trying to teach us responsibility. So we're, little at the thing, like, excuse me, we'd like to pull our money out, please. And the lady didn't question it and totally withdrew all the money and handed us our like $85, $100, whatever it was.
No kidding.
We stuck it in our pockets and we closed those accounts with no parental consent. We basically closed out the accounts, took all of it, and they let us do it. And this was in the 80s. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. This would never happen now. And then we turned around and we left. We went to a mall. There was a mall in Lincoln that was... I'm trying to remember if it was closer to like 55th Street or 60th Street. I'm trying to remember. My mind was young. I was a little kid back then, but I think it was around 60th Street. And so we walked to this mall, and we walked into the store, and it had rubber rafts for sale and stuff. We walked through the whole mall for we're like 7 and 8 years old, right? My mom's at work, working her butt off that day. We skipped school. And so we go to the mall and we're shopping because we want to get this amazing raft. So we buy this raft with our money, and we spent most of our money on it. And then we, of course, were hungry. So we got some food. And then we bought a bunch of supplies because we were going to live on the land with all of our snacks, because that lasts a long time, right? So we ran away from home. We've got this raft. We bought a pump because my brother's smart. He said, you got to have a pump to build this thing up. And so we start walking home, because by this time, you guys, we'd spent like 6 to 7 hours walking and buying, and we were exhausted. So we started walking home, and we hadn't had our adventure yet. So we were like, okay, this is it. We're going to go and we're going to have an adventure. Where's water? Where is water? And we found a little lake. Now, the funniest thing is this is the Lincoln Memorial Hospital. And they had a pond in the front of Lincoln Memorial Hospital. And we filled it up, And then we put it in their pond and we rafted around in their pond, and it was fun, right? But it wasn't enough. We needed moving water, flowing water. We needed rapids. Are there rapids in Lincoln, Nebraska like Colorado? There's gotta be, right? So we deflate the boat, we put it back, we carry it, we're carrying it, and we find, what do you know? Water with rapids. It was a canal. So we crawl in, we fill it up, we crawl into the canal, and as we're entering the canal, these two older boys, 14, 15, 16, they were on bikes, big, they looked like adults to us, but they were teenagers, saw us, 7 and 8 years old, and with this raft and about to get into the canal, and they said, "Hey, don't get into the canal, you're going to drown." And we were like, whatever, and we got scared. We realized that these guys weren't our friends, and they said stuff to try and keep us on the shore, and then they came around and they beat both of me and my brother up and took our rafts, everything we just spent all of our lifetime savings on, which wasn't much money anyway. And they took our rafts and we ran after we started getting hit and stuff, we ran, and they took all of our property that we left behind. So, we actually did get pushed into the canal, and we crawled out on the other side. And so here we are, we have nothing. We have no money. We have nothing that we just spent our money on. We don't have any of our snacks. We don't have our backpacks. We're wet. It's now evening time, starting to get dark, and we're a long ways away from home. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you go to the local grocery store that's close by, you hit a payphone, and you beg strangers for quarters until they give you enough money to call your mom. And back then you had everybody's numbers memorized because that was just what we did. So we got some quarters from some people walking in, threw the quarters in, called my mom. She was finally home from work. She was scared. She's like, "Where are you guys?" She was so scared because, just backstory, we got kidnapped as children, and my mom had to experience losing us through a kidnapping. And so this was like the one way we could totally devastate my mom. Sadly enough, we weren't thinking like that. So she thought we had been kidnapped again, and she was super, super freaked out. We thought we were just going to get like beat for life because we deserved it, to be honest with you. And what we put our mom through, we probably should have been. But she showed up. It was like 8:00 at night. She showed up in the car, and she was just hugged us and, held us and loved on us. And she's like, "I don't care what's going on. Just get in the car. Let's go home." And we went home that night, and it was a crazy, crazy day. But that was an adventure my brother and I went on. We thought we knew what we were doing. But the funny thing about it was the friggin' bank let us walk in and straight up close our accounts and pull money out as like 7 and 8 year olds. That's seriously stupid. And then the fact that we're like wandering the city of Lincoln, which is a decently sized town. We're talking 250,000 people or whatever. I mean, it's a decent metropolis in that sense, and there's surrounding areas. A lot of people don't know there is an inner city, and there is a lot of gang violence in Lincoln, Nebraska. If you don't realize it, actually look it up. It's legit. It was then, and it still is now. It's weird. The Midwest. Yeah, the Midwest having gangs, but gangs are where drugs are, and there was drugs there too. So it was pretty crazy, but super crazy. We ended up losing everything. My mom picked us up. We never got beat. We never got spanked. She hugged on us. We went home, and that was it. That was one of the 2 times I ran away from home. That is the first story. Stay tuned for another story of Warrior Presents. We'll do that another time. I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you, SureShot, for being on.
Glad to be here as always. And one thing to add about in the teller's defense at that point, I bet you $10 she thought this was a cool learning moment for the kids. They're probably gonna go walk outside and hop in their car with their mom or dad and head off and have this great learning experience about how to use a bank account. Probably not.
Yeah, I do remember my mom going to the bank and giving a massive lecture the next day to the bank managers, and them being like appalled that happened and that she didn't know. Like they did think that she knew. In fact, we possibly maybe could have said something like, "Our mom's in the car." I don't know what we said. I can't remember. I'd be lying if I did. That age. Yeah, but anyway, give everybody your shout out. We're gonna get out of here now.
Glad to be here. Thanks for stopping by. This was SureShot.
And this is Warrior. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Keep your gaming on. Warrior, out.